Hello, guys. Good morning and welcome to our TV program where we talk matters arising on Spontaneous Echo TV. Like, comment, and do not forget to subscribe. Today, again, we have, as usual, our guest who are always there to help us, bring us ideas, help us to ameliorate our societies, help us to ameliorate our behaviors and how to make it big in our lives. And today we have still, as you know, Madam Eunice Vebu, an anthropologist, with us this morning. Good morning, Madam.
Good morning. Good morning to all the televiewers. Good morning to my fellow families. Good morning to my family members.
Thank you very much for honoring our invitation once again.
I'm honored.
And again, our young and vibrant pastor. He is here again in person of Pastor Lange Godwill. Good morning, sir.
Thank you, sir journalist. Good morning. Good morning to all viewers. Good morning to everyone who listen to us, watching at us, and to my dear colleague here. Thank you so much for this platform. It's a privilege being here.
How is the family when you left the house?
The family was at a good condition.
Same way here.
Same.
Okay, I am, as usual, your host in the person of Fabove Gayer. And today again, we will talk something important. Today again, we are going to target our schools. Today again, we are going to target our homes. We want to talk about juvenile delinquency in our society, in the ills that is chopping us up, that is reducing Cameroon to dust. And so, Pastor, in the simple man's language, is stubbornness of youth in school milieu, in their homes, and all the rest. And we are trying to put it in the way, and the person listening to us this morning can really understand and listen. So, what can you say about the topic?
What I think you've just put it rightly, stubbornness of youth nowadays. Truly, this is, we're talking about stubbornness of youth in schools, most especially in schools. Youth nowadays, we can really interpret many gestures which means stubbornness to their teachers and even at home to their parents. I think that is what we are talking about.
We have a mother on set, and she knows what it means to be stubborn. And I believe as a mother, you're a teacher. So, Madam Eunice, once again, you're welcome. And we are talking about juvenile delinquency, behaviors of children who are abnormal.
I would say stubbornness. Before it goes to school, it starts at home. When you don't handle it at home, it must manifest in school. As parents, we have to hold our children with strong hands so that when they go out, they will manifest maybe the training we are giving them at home. If you fail as a parent, the child is bound to show the bad behavior outside. So us as mothers, we have to bring up our children in good ways, so that when they go out, they'll be able to show good examples.
Pastors, she is speaking. I want us to speak now like a mother, and you will speak like a father. Many fathers today have failed. We are coming to the causes of this and want to start from the roots, from the parents. And I want us to take each one of them because there are two of them, of course, the father and the mother. In our homes today, especially in Cameroon, we no longer find parents, especially the fathers, who sit with their children to share, to discuss, to educate them, to sensitize them. And the result is what we see today. What can you say about that?
I think, truly speaking, fathers really need to sit up in their responsibility. You know, this generation has been termed Android generation, and when you look into it critically, you see that it is causing more harm, even in families, than good. You enter a house where the father has an Android phone, the mother has an Android phone, and the children have Android phones, everyone is busy. Everyone is busy. There's no time to talk about family business. There's no time to discuss family issues. And what the children do is they learn from Android phones. And of course, you know the kind of things they can learn from the phone. Easily, they pick the negative things and they forgo the important ones. And that will be the results actually, even in school. Stubbornness to teachers as a result of what is happening at home.
And so, parents have failed largely. We no longer, like you've said, Android phones have really limited that family discussion.
That's true.
That family merriment together. And parents, some parents, apart from Android phones, are now bound to, spend most of their hours in drinking sports, in bars.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And when they enter the bars and they sit there, some of them comes back at past midnight.
Of course,
Yeah.
they come very late in the night.
And some mothers, baffling enough, has engaged in
Like-
this thing, have engaged into them.
Yes, like a mother, if you come out late, 12 midnight, what do you expect a girl child in the house to do? She will copy the attitude from you, and the next thing she will be the one knocking the door at that midnight, and you are bound to open it because she has seen it from you. So you live by example. To teach our children these days, you live by showing them the good example. If you show bad example, they'll copy it.
Now, being a pastor, you're a teacher.
That's true.
And we have seen students in school who get to beat their teachers. Beat them. Some go to the point of killing their teachers. We've heard recently in Yaoundé how students killed their teachers just because they did wrong. The teacher said, step out. So when you look at these things in schools, what can you pose again as a cause of this issue?
I think it is quite unfortunate that we have criminals in schools in the name of students. One of the causes we have for this issue is as a result of the fact that these students have bad friends, I think so. They really have bad influences. They have people who influence them negatively. Some of them have as friends not other students in school, but they have as friends criminals in the quarters who don't go to school at all. And so they teach them what to do in school. You will see a boy of age 18 or 17 in school having a criminal in the quarter who does not go to school as a friend. That is his own company, a criminal in the quarter. Someone people are afraid of, someone who is pronounced as a big-time criminal and they are afraid, they are scared of him. That is his own friend in the quarter. What do you expect of such a student in class? What do you expect if a teacher tries to correct that student and that student interprets it negatively or gets angry with the teacher? What do you expect from him? He will behave as such.
Now, Madam Eunice, many have tend to accuse teachers to the fault of some of this stubbornness because, as you and I know, teachers are to transmit knowledge, not only knowledge, but how to behave in these children. But many people tend to accuse them. I don't know. What can you say about it?
I think...
Do you buy the idea?
I buy the idea because I think some of the male teachers, I would say, contribute, like the ones who tend to admire the females. Let me say, if a teacher comes in class and he starts disturbing a female child, putting some kind of things in her head, bringing her gifts, how would that child respect the teacher? When the next teacher comes, maybe she would think he is the same as the other one.
That's it.
Yes, so that's how the stubbornness now grows. And then when the teacher comes into class, they will speak anyhow to the teacher. So some of our teachers too will contribute.
Pastor, that means teachers are failing.
Yeah, some teachers have largely failed. Some teachers have largely failed. I remember those days when I was in Form 5, there was a student who used to speak roughly to this teacher. And I always blamed that student. It was a female student, of course. The student never respected the teacher at all, even for 1 second. It was later on and understood that the teacher was after that student. You see? That teacher was after that student for illegal act, wanting to go to bed with that student. In that case, how do you expect this student to even listen to the lecture that the teacher will give in class? When the teacher is teaching, the student will be thinking something else. So some teachers have largely failed. The truth is that many teachers nowadays are into such act in schools, which is really not correct. It is not good at all. It is not good. Many students have become pregnant today, impregnated by their teachers.
That's true.
Many students have become dropout today by their teachers because they could not further their education. They got themselves pregnant by teachers. So some teachers are truly doing terrible things, while others are doing their best to help the students.
Of course, we do agree. Now, we've just talked about females. What about the males? What have the teachers done to the males that we've seen children today? We've had a lot of cases where children bring knives in school, cutlasses. Of recent, we heard of a child who went and took the father's pistols to school. The father is a commissioner and he took his gun, came to school to bully a teacher with that gun. Now, can we still really blame this on teachers, Pastor?
Those students truly, they're responsible for those at times. Some of them are truly responsible. One of the things I would think is that they are into drug. Some of them take drug and they smoke bad cigarettes. And when you take those things, those are things, and it goes up and traumatize the brain. They no longer reason straight. So
they see their teachers
yes,
to be very small.
Very
A
small.
fat madam like
Yes.
this becomes very thin.
Very small, and it gives them false courage. It gives them false courage, and they think they can do and undo. There'll be no one to oppose them. When they take those things, truly it upsets them. Let me say it puts them upside down. Instead of reasoning upward, they reason downward. And the end result is they will behave as such, coming to school with the father's pistol. But why did the man not keep his pistol anyway? Maybe the child already knew where the father used to keep it, of course, and they come to school with knives and so on and so forth. Because of false courage as a result of some chemicals and some drugs they have taken.
Now, pastors, I'll still go back to parents. Madam Eunice, we've seen children in school who've been beaten for their wrongdoings, and they go home, and their fathers takes machetes.
Yes.
The whole family comes to school to beat these teachers.
Yes.
Don't you think that contributes?
That contributes because some parents don't want teachers to touch their children. I've had an experience with that. My auntie, she had a daughter in school. The daughter did something and they beat the daughter very well. As she just saw the child coming crying, she just wore her cap and went to school direct. And entered school, say, you guys have no right to beat my child. When you already are saying that the child knows that the teacher have no right over her.
Yes, that's true.
So the parents who are contributing in that aspect. When you have sent your child to school, you have sent your child to school. Don't mind anything that's doing to the child. So far as the child is learning, bringing home good results. They have not said they should bully the child because parents are allowed children. No.
Pastor, you're a teacher. Have you ever had that experience or seen someone in such an experience?
Yes, truly I have suspected students in my classes as such. I've suspected some students, and the truth is I have a manner of approach. Yes, I have a manner of approach. There is this student, I spoke to him, and the student, if you look at the guy, he's having muscle, and he's somehow healthy,
Very
strong,
huge.
and huge. So looking at me standing in front of this student, I could just approach this student with the use of knowledge that I have acquired. So the thing is that the guy had the strength, but he never had the knowledge that I had. So I easily got to him using knowledge. How I was calm, I was polite, and I was loving. He had to drop his muscles and his palm, and he submitted under my authority as his teacher. And today we are friends.
So, this year, like we've already said, I want us to put a cap, I want us to put a hammer on the nail this time. Do you think social media has done more good than bad to these children? Madam, I come with you first. Social media, yeah. Do you think it has done more good than bad to these children? Because some of this behavior, I guess, depicts them from
The social media.
good.
Yes, I think they picked some of these behaviors from social media. When a parent will get in an early stage, maybe from 3, from 4, give a child an Android phone, the child goes in, he has nothing to learn from the social media at that time. Because so many parents nowadays, they prefer to give an Android phone to a child when the child is having at least advanced level. Because from that level, you can already learn some things. Then when you give a child an Android phone in an early age, the child is bound to learn negative things. Because you go into the net, you will not learn anything. You see, they will start watching a pornography film, they will start scamming, all of those things. Parents are the cause of those things. Giving phones at an early age to children. And to the females, like when boys start approaching them,
They take their numbers.
yes, they think they have arrived. So when they go to class now, they think that they are the same level with their madam. When the madam is talking, they don't longer listen to them because some boys have given them something. They think
feel
that
big.
yes, they feel big. They think they are in the same level.
Yeah, Pastor, social media.
Social media has contributed to a great deal. We don't dispute the fact. It has contributed a great deal.
Because it was not so before. I'm not cutting you.
Yes,
At first, we used to reverend our teachers.
that's true.
It was something awesome to see how a child could abandon maybe his food or her food here to run away just because they said that's your teacher.
That's it.
Yeah, you meet with your teacher, you don't greet your teacher anyhow. But today, social media has shown to us everybody got right. Yes, we can tap into net. We tap into net. Watch how the Western world is behaving, and at times we apply it today in our own context without really understanding the down. I'm not saying all they portray is bad, but I'm saying maybe something is done at a particular time because of something.
Yeah.
But we now, our children this way, or our students, they get to embrace it, and it has pushed them into this arts, social media.
The world we are living in is made up of different parts, and different parts has different practices. One of the things that the social media has done is to bring what is practiced out there, like you have said, the Western world, and publish it as if it should be practiced worldwide. Now you realize that students in Cameroon, for example, will easily know what students in America, students in other parts of the world are doing. And to them, let's behave that way. Let's take it that way. We can behave as such. Forgetting that we are Africans and our African norms are there, which African norms are different from the Western norms, and so on. So I think that in as much as social media is good and we move there to learn things, we should know what to copy and paste. We must not copy everything and paste. At the end of the day, there will be no difference between our Africa and America, which is not supposed to be so. We are people, we are the Africans, and we value our norms so much. And one of our norms in Africa is respect. That's one of the things we value so much in Africa. We respect. We have been pruned, we have been born, and we have been pruned, we have been trained to respect our parents and teachers. But you know what happened nowadays? If you are in school and you're in Form 5, for example, and there is a particular teacher who teaches from 1 to 3, that student in Form 5 knows that that is not his teacher.
The teacher. That's true.
And that student will not respect you, will not greet you, will not call you sir. Because you don't teach up to his class. So to him, he's already bigger. He is in a class where you don't teach up to. And he fails to understand that you have studied above that class.
That's true.
You see what is happening in our schools today. I am talking this from experience. There was a student who never respected me because I never taught up to Form 5. And I look at that student, you are still struggling to have an ordinary level. And I'm here, I have a degree, and I'm looking up to trusting for a master. And because I don't teach up to Form 5, you think I am not qualified.
Yeah,
I am not
no
a teacher.
class.
So the issue of respect is missing. The issue of respect is missing. And when respect is not there, the students can behave the other ways. They can bully, they can shout at the teacher, they can threaten the teacher, they can show their muscle to the teacher, they will not respect their discipline, and many other things can happen.
Now, pastors, talking about how teachers maybe are not valued again, could we not see? Can we not see that that's bringing down the qualities of a teacher, that is bringing out the capacity of a teacher, bringing down the respect of a teacher, even by the government. When we fail to respect the teachers, we can beat teachers anyhow. We can parents, not necessarily parents of students, but where we see how a policeman maybe handles a teacher, a civilian maybe got into a small conflict with the teacher and he got him well beaten. Don't you think that degradation, that picture, has given a thought to these children who now think that children, teachers, know people, that they can't value them anymore? Because I want to deviate a bit and then come back. At first too, many people used to run away from policemen. But it became a time where we saw on social media how they're beaten anyhow.
Yeah.
And any young man now, when a policeman is speaking, say, tu me, in a French language, you hear someone say, tu me tant que je te tape ici bien même avec la tenue là. Now, this a time ago, we saw this act very viral. Don't you think that it's also the case today with the teacher? The teacher is not valorized. His work is not valorized by the government, by the parents, and is pushing these children to really come down to that level, Madam Eunice.
I would say some of these teachers are disrespected maybe because of the school authorities, like the principal. Because there are some principals that are too, they just shout at teachers anyhow. When a teacher is coming, you just like, why are you late? Yes, why are you like this? Why? So you give now room to the children to disrespect the teacher anyhow. So the problem is parents, because some parents who just come to school because you have a misunderstanding with the child, you just start shouting at the child, just start shouting at the teacher, me. So now give room now to other children to say that they were shouting at this teacher, calling him this like this. So they will just give the teacher the name, and then they will just start disrespecting the teachers. And the principals, some of them vice principals, they just start, because I've once been in school when we gave names to some teachers because of the vice principal. We just come and insult. Say this one, you have not gone, you don't have anything, you cannot teach. So you just start insulting teachers. Insulting, and then start disrespecting teachers. It's not good.
And that is a very big problem. in our society today. You know, I have someone who's a teacher, a primary school teacher, and he told me, we were discussing, he told me in their school, they don't permit students to sweep. They are the one sweeping.
The teachers.
The teachers, they are the ones sweeping. That, I mean, how will a teacher valorize, how will a student valorize that teacher who is sweeping and wiping his or her bench to sit? These are not nursery school children we are talking about. Because the proprietor thinks that these children should be catered for very well. They should be given their space. That's why a teacher will have to sweep the class. And these same teachers have time to reach in school. They come to school before students, pastor. Really.
When you spare the rod, you spoil the child. I don't know why this school administration has not understood this simple sentence. When you spare the rod, you spoil the child. Indeed, they are spoiling those children in the name of catering for the children. You don't cater for a child by spoiling that child. Why would that child learn? I don't have to work. I just have to be catered for. By who? My superiors, my boss, my teachers. They're the ones who are supposed to cater for me. And even when that child finally graduates tomorrow and move into the world of works tomorrow, have a job, that child or that man whatsoever will be expecting that the boss does the same thing for him or her, cater for him or her. The day that that child will receive a query letter because he or she came to work to the office late, it will be like they have done something to him that has never happened before, because that child was never brought up that way. I don't know why parents will send their children to schools like that. If I'm a parent, you don't go to such a school.
Of course, some parents do appreciate such schools. Have we not seen such parents who'd go and say, no, this school is a very nice school? No, they don't send children to work. I want us to recall our days in secondary school where you had disciplinary councils, and when you are disciplined, they may put a corvée, that is, you're disciplined for a week,
Yes.
and all through
Intense
that
level.
week you come for intense level.
That's true.
And this used to give a sense of responsiveness, a sense of responsibility to our children, to our brothers and sisters. But today no longer works. If a teacher will come to school and a principal is telling that teacher to go sweep the class for a primary school, to go through that is where the problems start. Because if that child leaves tomorrow from the primary school and goes back to the secondary, he will think that is the same measure that should be applied.
That's it.
And if it is not done so, that's where the child removes knife. And it's like, you're forcing me to sweep? Is that what I came here to do? And some parents are applauding this. We are saying this, ladies and gentlemen, to put it right into all of us, that let's give proper education to these children. And Pastor, I want to believe that a child that does not work in the house cannot work in school.
How can a child work in school if that child does not work in the house? Of course, I agree with you. I agree with you. A child that is, first of all, lazy at home cannot be hardworking in school.
And hard work, Madam Eunice, should be first of all in the house before it can expose outside. If a child cannot wash a dish inside,
Yes, that's true.
it becomes difficult.
It is said that charity begins at home. So for anything good to happen outside, we should at least interpret it from inside. Of course, I believe you have come across situations where some people have been told that such a person is good. But when you get to the house, In that case, those are pretenders. They pretend and they camouflage, they give false images to people out there. But at home, you see their real color. You really know who they are.
And Pastor, I'm not cutting you short. I still come back to this. Some of your colleagues are the causes too. Imagine a teacher who comes to the class to downgrade another teacher. Madam Eunice, what sense does that give to that child? Really try to say something about that. Let's get it.
Downgrade the child.
Yeah. I mean, a teacher comes in class, takes the story of another teacher, telling the students in the class how the other teacher is not
For the purpose of tarnishing the teacher's
tarnishing
image.
the image.
Yes, I've once seen that too. In the school, like we had a history teacher. He used to drink a lot, and then another history teacher now will always come and tell us that what that man is saying, he will unteach you guys, he will unteach you guys. But the other one, he drinks a lot, but he cannot play with his teaching.
That's
Even
true.
though you enter the class with teaching and smelling, dangling, but he will teach what he's supposed to teach you people. The other people now then take it the other way now to disrespect the teacher.
Yeah, Pastor, we come back still to that.
Yes, colleagues have tarnished the image of other colleagues. That is true. And they do that for selfish purposes. They do that for selfish purposes. If you look critically into it, you realize that maybe a colleague is occupying a better position
Than
than the other. And because the other one jealous that position, he wants to downgrade that colleague so that at the end of the day, he will end up occupying that position. Maybe because of salary differentiation. This one is better than this one. And you begin to tarnish the image in front of the students. You want the students to ridicule. You want the students to disrespect the teacher for selfish reasons. The truth is that what goes wrong will definitely fall back on you. So colleagues, teachers who do that to their colleagues, they should know that one day it will bounce on them and they will not resist the consequences of their actions.
And Pastor, I will still come back. A while ago, I was talking about disciplinary council.
Yeah.
Does that still exist in our schools today?
Disciplinary councils in our schools today, though they do exist, but I would think that it is more of a name. Because anything that exists and we don't really see the major functions carried out in many schools, it is a figurehead. It is just a name given. You know. Yes, let me just tell you, the other day I was preaching somewhere and I said that a father who does not carry out his or her responsibility is not a father, he is a man.
A goat.
He's a goat. It's just a goat. Because you are just existing, occupying an office, father. But where is the responsibility? Fatherhood is not in the name, it is in the responsibility. A man is not called a father because he has a child. A man is called a father because he carries out the responsibility of a father. It's by virtue of carrying out the responsibilities of a father that makes you a father. So disciplinary councils today exist in many schools, but the functions are not carried out. And so it is it's more of a name. It's more of a name. That is what happens. But I want to congratulate some schools. Some schools do not play with that. Some schools really take it seriously. Some schools, I can really talk about that confidently. I have come across some schools that they don't play with discipline. They don't play with that. Whether, be it the issue of late coming, be it the issue of unwanted behaviors, be it the issue of bringing illegal items to school, and so on and so forth, they don't tolerate it. They don't tolerate it. What if it means to dismiss the student, they do that. If it means to beat the student at the assembly, they do that. If it means to follow up the students back to the house or to the homes, they will do that. So some schools don't do that. All rest on the school administration and on the person they have put as the disciplinary master. Yes. So if any school is to go for a disciplinary master, they should know that will really put the school at stake. Whether the school will really do well or not depends on that.
Okay, Madam Eunice, at first, our schools, you will not go in without being checked. I believe that did contribute very well into in the upbringing of that child or student, the right behavior. Now prevented a lot of things. You think with the disappearance of this, what has happened today? You see,
Children go to school nowadays with phones. Phones that parents don't even have children are going with them to school. Why? I blame the government because there was a time I heard the government release a law that they should not beat a child again in school. So
That's
when
it.
the government released that kind of a law, how will children now respect teachers? You know, I will say anything to a teacher, the teacher cannot beat me. Like the pastor rightly said, some schools they don't even buy the idea of that law because they still discipline their students the way they want to. There's some government school like government schools around here, they don't do that. Children go to school with iPhone. You see a teacher is having a choronko, but the student is having a big phone.
Of course, how would that child respect when there is no proper check at the gate? How would that child not enter with a knife? How would that child not enter with a razor blade? It becomes really, really troublesome to see that that kind of thing is going on in our,
And it was
in our
an
schools.
extent. A school I know about.
Yeah.
A student had to wound a teacher with a stone because the teacher took the phone.
Get it? Now, that's why a while ago I was talking how the government has really brought down teachers. Imagine a government passing a law that a child shouldn't be beaten. I'm not in any way encouraging that teachers should get children were punished in school, were beaten. But we are saying it is but normal, Pastor, that teachers bully their students a bit. I mean, to give them a sense.
I just said a while ago that even scripture affirms to it, spare not the rod and spoil the child. Now, when you look into it, you realize that the government is not completely wrong passing across a decree as such, because some teachers had abused the use of cane.
That's true.
They have beaten some students, and these children went back home, had to be taken to the hospital.
Some have died.
Some even died. In the place of the government, will you be happy seeing such maltreatment in the name of discipline? And you know, some parents, some teachers have issues at home and they carry it to the school.
Very correct.
And when a child does something wrong, they pour all their anger on that child. I heard about 3 weeks ago, I heard of a story told about a teacher. This teacher was teaching in somewhere, I would not like to mention the place. This teacher had vowed that he would never beat a child. And that is how he was teaching in that school without beating a child. Any child that does something wrong against him, he simply wants, or he will give a corporal punishment. I think that is what the government has advocated. So one day he came to class. There was this boy. The boy kept disturbing in class. He asked the boy to stop. The boy never stopped. The boy continued. The more he was teaching, the more that boy was disturbing. He pleaded. The story was told that he even begged the boy to stop disturbing in class. The boy insisted, and anger overtook the teacher. He grabbed a cane and beat this child. If this boy was not rescued, this teacher was going to kill this boy. From that classroom, the boy was rushed to the hospital, and the life was spared by the doctors, at the mercies of the doctors. This teacher thought to himself, if I knew, I should have stood on my words. Now you see, what happens is that the teacher was overtaken by anger. And that is why when the government interprets, sees some of these things, he will simply say they should not be it.
I'm not cutting you short. I'm just trying to contribute. I believe 2 weeks ago, I think, was it last week? A young teacher in Douala was videoed. The video is viral now, where he beat a child until he put the fingers of that child on the bench and took a cutlass and a hammer to begin to nail them with it. I mean, that was torture. That was not even beating. That was torture. And we are saying all this to say, please, in as much as we are saying teachers be able to bring disciplines in school, we are not telling you to go kill children.
Of course.
We are not telling you to go do things that are unusual.
Of course.
What would push a teacher to take a machete to beat a child with? It's not normal. It's not normal. You can give punishment to that child. And we are also telling the children, be wise. Know that your teacher is your teacher.
That's true.
I usually tell those who are going to school that even if it is your junior one who stands before you in class and is teaching you, be humble enough to listen to him, because he has what you need and he needs nothing from you. And your future is a contributor. There is one thing, if he doesn't release, you will stay where you are. And so don't push your teacher to the wall. Don't push your teacher to that extent where he will have to go to that extreme. And we are talking to those who have been smoking or the shisha, mbanga, taking tramol, cocaine, to get high, as they put it in their own language, to go to school and be a big boy. We are saying it's not good. And we are still calling on parents, Madam Verbu, to take their children.
Of course.
How many times before we'll come back from school and our parents will check our bags? How many of us do that today?
That habit, they have gradually, many parents have gradually dropped that habit today.
Of course.
Focus on phones.
Yeah.
The focus is on phone. And it kills us. So imagine a child is leaving the home with a knife that he took from your kitchen and you're not even aware as a mother. Yeah, all you have is, let me check, what is the next vibe on my status?
Yeah.
Let me post a selfie and all the rest, and it's destroying our society. So we are begging, we are struggling, on few words, to build a society that will be at peace, that will drop all these things. Pastor, to end this, what do you think we can do to remedy this situation, Madam Eunice? What can you give us a remedy to this situation?
I think the remedy is both sides, the student and the teacher. The student will learn to respect the teacher, no matter whether he's not teaching or whether he's teaching your class, whether he's not teaching. When you bring in respect first, as the pastor said, I think all these problems, then the students too should stay away from bad friends, stay away from drugs. It will also help the situation.
That's all.
To remedy this situation, I will insist on the word discipline. Discipline at home, discipline in the school. If discipline at home agrees with discipline in the school, then the child does not change. I think that child will definitely need a pastor for prayers. Discipline needs to agree from the house with that of the school on the same child, or on all the children, or the students. Then things will get better.
Ladies and gentlemen, you got it right. You should be able to discipline yourself. I started something with my siblings at home. School is starting at 7:30. I noticed that they leave the house at 8 a.m. And I was wondering, it was not once, twice. It became something normal. I say, 8 o'clock, you're still in the house. That's when you're leaving to your school. I started something. I said, from today, if 7:20 meets you in the house, I'm giving each 5. If they're not beating in your school, I'll take it upon myself to beat you very well, so that you can learn that it is bad to go to school late. And they thought I was joking. The first day, 7:20, that's when people took their bags and said, everybody come back. I took a cane, 5 in the palms.
That's good.
Everybody went out crying. I said, go to school, why crying? When they ask you, give the reason why you've been beaten. And I can bet with you that now everybody, even if you have whatever to do, everybody is waking up at 4 or 5 to do whatever he or she has to do, so that by 7:30 he or she is in school. And I think if we all struggle to apply this in our homes, we will not have recalcitrance.
That's correct.
If we discipline our children at home, we will not have stubborn children always. And the truth is, when he leaves the teacher, he will come back to the house. Because if one is already able to bully the teacher with a knife, a teacher who is having the same age and sometimes older, that child will come back home and use it. So parents, be wise. Parents, be wise. And now we are entering into the last topic of today, and we have just some few minutes for that, and that is the issue of sex in schools for marks. We put a point on universities in Cameroon. Universities, it's been rampant. Now, there have been stories from victims that teachers have made them spend 4 years, 5 years, that they will never grab a degree if they don't sleep with them. And he has come up to the primary level or the secondary. Pastor, what is happening? Madam Eunice, I'll start with you. You've been in the university. Can you attest to what I'm saying?
I can attest to that. I would say laziness to some students. They don't want to work. They don't want to work hard. They don't want to read their books. They just went to the university to play life. So they will look for the easy way to have the marks. So they will go playing their life and then come to the teacher to just give them marks. That's why some of them offer their bodies to the teacher for marks.
No, I mean in the case where teachers themselves are the problems, where you see a student, I mean, a teacher has promised a lady or a woman has promised a young man, you will never succeed until you give me what I need from you. That's what I want us to talk about. I don't know if you have had any experience of such personally, or you have a friend who's gone through that. I want us to just share so that we can best understand what we are talking about.
That's what baffles me, because I don't know if these teachers are into cultism or they practice. I don't know, because you will see teachers, he will really swear that if you don't give me this thing, I'll not give you, fake. And if the child is not that strong, you see them sleeping with teachers. I've seen students, I've had friends discuss about. I was really surprised when I heard them talking about it, saying this teacher came and was telling our friend here that if she does not sleep with me, they will not give her marks, until to an extent that she had to repeat level 1. I was really surprised when I heard that.
Pastor, what can you say? What's happening?
Lecturers, some of them are suffering with lust. Some of the lecturers are suffering with lust. Why lecturing the lust after young years? And once that is done, the next thing is the request for her body. If she refuses, they threaten her with marks. That she will either not have marks or she will have less than a failed mark. So I think that is the issue. The issue is lost. The issue is lost. And when you look into it, you see that most of these, some of them are married, yet they are not satisfied with their wives. They want to go after young years. It's the issue of lust, honestly. It's the issue of lust. So addressing this issue on the part of these teachers, I will be talking to them on the issue of lust. They should be able to control their emotions. They should be able to control their feelings, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So I think that what she was trying to pass across, Madame Eunice, the issue of some
Yes.
years as we're offering the body. I think she was bringing a point that
That's
we
true.
must look at it from both
Yeah.
angles. Yes, because the truth is, teachers, lecturers have threatened some years with a failed mark if they refuse them what they wanted. And some girls have offered themselves to teachers, to lecturers, that yeah, my give me marks. So you see that it's on both sides. But right now we want to really frown at lecturers who are into such behavior. We are frowning at such lecturers. It tarnishes and it degrades the teaching, which is a noble profession. It tarnishes, it degrades it. Where is your dignity as a teacher? Where have you kept your dignity? You have pocketed your dignity because of a young lady or because of immorality or fornication that will last a few minutes. You've pocketed your dignity, and that will earn you everlasting, or let me say, long life disrespect. Those students will not disrespect you. Your teaching career is being washed. Yes, because a teacher is also his dignity. A teacher is his dignity. That is who a teacher is. Your dignity makes you a teacher.
You know, I have had a friend who left the University of Yaoundé 1. She left the Department of Law to come do journalism in my school. And we spoke, we became friends, and she told me, "Girl, do you know why I'm in this school?" I said, "No." She said, "Journalism has never been my option before. That's never been my passion." I said, "Then why are you here? What was your passion, or what is your passion?" She told me, "I am into 5 going to 6 years of law now. I've always wanted to be a lawyer. But in the University of Buea, I have spent 3 years in the same class. Not because I'm not intelligent, girl." She told me a teacher from her first day she entered the university saw her, toasted her, and she refused. Why? Because she's a married woman, for that matter. And the teacher said, "Young lady, you want to show that you are tough, that you're beautiful, and that no one can have you, right? I put to you this challenge. You will never leave this school with a degree unless I have taught you, or we have passed a night together." The lady said no. The lady thought it was a joke. The first year, she will write that man's CA, no marks. She will struggle until even common things that, like we usually say, the last person in class with the dullest will succeed in that thing. She will not succeed. Up to the point, first, second, third year, fourth, she saw that there was no need feed. The teacher kept persisting that, "I have told you," anytime they met, "I have told you, you will never." The lady finally dropped and came for journalism. That's a degree at which some teachers can be very wicked, can drop their dignities for nothing. That's a future that is jeopardized. That is a future that is toyed with. How would this person feel? And so, we are saying, like the pastor earlier said it, lost is one of these things. I want to also put blame, like Madame Eunice has rightly put it, on some ladies. Imagine a lady who will come to the university, she is not willing to work anything. She comes to the university with a mindset, I will have to share my body to all of these teachers and have what I need. And so
They put it this way, I will use what I have
to get what I
What I
want.
want.
Yeah. And truly, they are doing it. See a lady who have never been in school before, but you're surprised that anytime you go to the board, you see her name and C marks there. Teachers are seducing students, students are seducing teachers.
Seriously.
Now, the aching part of it is that it has dropped to our secondary school level, Pastor.
That is the worst part of the story. That is the worst part of the story. At least the secondary school, most of them are teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are teenagers, and something that we used to hear that only happens at the university is now common in the secondary school. We cannot imagine the degree of the university. If it has dropped to the secondary school, then the degree of the university is terrible.
As
I think that especially the secondary school, with the private sector, since they have the responsibility to employ, they should go for check. They should really examine the teachers that are employed. Seriously.
that is why I want to come back to this thing. These things are only happening. Most of them, I will not say 100%, but most 99% or 99.999 is happening in public schools. Why? The government is failing. Imagine that these same lecturers, every day, they are reported, but nothing is done. Don't you think it's an encouragement from the government?
That's true. That's true. The government really needs to see into the matter. The government needs to see into the matter because it's very common. It's common in the secondary school. And the more they are reported, I've not seen any major action that has been taken to remedy the matter. Even among the colleagues, the school administration or the school authority, like the principal and the others, I don't really see a major thing they have done to solve the matter. It's like it's more of the teacher's private life and the student, which is not correct. Which is not correct. So we want to beg on our government to check on those schools that they bring frequent reports on issues like that. To check on those schools. And something needs to be done urgently.
Don't you think sending a secret agents in universities to check on that matter would be the best one, Madam Mills?
I think so too, because when you see how can the government really bring in action when all of them are the same? Because we say if they go and report to the department, maybe the department also is doing the same thing. How will they even take it upward? The thing will just die there. So that I think that they are the cause. The thing don't go forward because all of them that are into
Involved.
it, they are all involved in the action. That's why the thing is repeating itself, is happening, and we see that nothing is being done because all of them are in it. None of them is an exception.
So we are baking the principles. We are baking the school's authority that something needs to be done.
Urgently.
Because it is true, I asked this lady I just talked about now, but why didn't you go to the rector, to anybody to report? She told me I've gone countless times. They told me, mais donne lui ce qu'il veut, You see, that is defining to be normal. That you go to your chief to report somebody who should be taking care of you, to report a case, and that person tells you, but go give him what he wants. That is his savon that gets finished. Imagine someone who is married. Up to that point, we will say truly it's something that we are shouting loud about that something needs to be done. The government, maybe we should send some, maybe the government should send some security agents
Yeah.
so that they can get into receiving these cases, struggling to check on it and bring a sanction. Now we have few minutes, not up to 3 again, to go to the end. Now, what can you say? All that we have spoken here. What can you give us advice? Remember, we are here to educate, to sensitize, to call on people to be patriotic, to call on citizens to be exemplary in everything they do. Madam Eunice, speak as a mother, speak as a citizen.
To me, I would say, as a young girl or a young boy, is not everybody must have a degree. If you wake up and maybe school is not your thing, you must not go to the university to offer your body to have a degree. You can look for something to do that is going to be more fruitful than even the university you are going to. So a young girl have to be creative. They have to look for other things. Not only school can give you, not only school can make you to be someone tomorrow. Even business can help the society. So our young girls should really take care of themselves, because they are exposing too much in the university. They just go, they open their legs anyhow to the lecturers, which is not good.
Okay, and then we come back to the issue of decadence in schools, that's juvenile delinquency that we just talked about. Remember, we are going out of this program. What can you give us last advice to parents, especially, and to these students who are downgrading their teachers and even to teachers?
I would say it should start at home. Parents should train their children well. Parents to teach them how to respect teachers. They should stay away from bad friends, drugs, all of that. Like the pastor said, how can a child of 18 years be in school and having a drug dealer in the quarter as a friend? They should stay away from those type of people to be able to make the society a better place.
Thank you, Madam Eunice. Pastor, we come back to you.
Yes, I have said, and I'm going to bring it again, that discipline at home should agree with discipline in the school. As parents are doing their best to reinforce discipline in the houses, teachers and schools should sit up with discipline. I think a child who is disciplined at home and is also disciplined in the school will be a better child, will be a better student. And if the child is only receiving slap one-sided and the other jaw is not slapped, the child will know that this jaw still has the freedom to do certain things. Therefore, if they slap the child this way in the house concerning a particular thing, then the child goes to school and receives the slap this other way concerning that same thing, the child will know that both jaws have been slapped, so I better sit up. I better sit up. That is the advice I have to give both to the parents, to the school, and I believe our government is going to do her part in seeing to it that our society becomes a better place. Teachers should desist from illegal relationship with students, especially the female ones. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for staying with us. I have been your host, Fabove Gael, and this is Spontaneous Echo TV program, which is Matter Arising. And today we had the privilege again, as usual, to have Pastor Lange Godwill Kenui, who is a pastor of Macedonian Baptist Church in Fumbot, West Region of Cameroon. And we had with us, as usual, Madam Eunice Verbu, a mother, an anthropologist, a woman who tries, in her own words, to see to it that the society is a better one. We ask you to like, to subscribe, and to leave your comments so that we will know how to ameliorate our programs, so that we will know how to continue to educate this society that is decaying every day. Thank you very much and continue to be our guest. Thank you.